of them can hang, running with the gang, no need to explain. I pull up then it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's none of them can hang, running with the gang, no need to explain. I pull up and it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's I gave them nuggets and knowledge. They tried to put nicks in my armor, but I've been mellow. Little setback, I step back and then it's
Press the wrong button. Can you believe that on He's on Fire podcast? First time I've ever done that. It's the night that Dan Duarte comes on. Goodness gracious. Anyways, welcome to He's on Fire podcast. We have got the whole crew tonight to talk about the matchup that's going to happen between the Clippers and Pelicans when you look at that score. And then we're just going to talk about how we're feeling about this game moving forward, the confidence level. I know the confidence level of the team is high as all hell. My confidence level, through the roof. 04, 05, remember that? That's down here for me compared to my confidence level here. So let's get into everything that we have to talk about. First and foremost, got the co-host Jay Joyce in the house. We also got Suns fan Randy in the building and our special guest for the night on He's on Fire podcast, Dan Duarte from Coast to Coast podcast, Fanning the Flames. Where else are you at, Dan?
Whoever else invites me, man. That's usually what I do, just like you guys did. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It's nice, man, because I love you guys' podcast. So thanks for giving me the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And 59 episodes, and I haven't screwed up the intro like I did on that one. So you know what? You've seen a couple of them, I'm not screwing up like that mostly. So, FYI, you are coming in all crackly again. I don't know if you want to just sign out and sign back in real quick. We're live, so it's all good, and we'll keep it going over here. But Randy, I have yet to talk to you about everything that has gone down since the regular season has ended. So let's start this with you. What is your confidence like? In this Phoenix Suns team for the entire playoff run, not just round one?
I feel like right now, as of right now today, it's probably 8 out of 10. And I feel like after we get out the first round, it'll probably go to like maybe 10 out of 10. Just because, like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later on. But I just don't want to see the Clippers. But hopefully we shall see. We shall see how it goes.
Why don't you want to see the Clippers?
Just because all right. To be completely honest, we all love Monty here. You know what I'm saying? I love Monty. I'll run through a wall for him just like everybody else. But I feel like Monty, his biggest thing or his biggest strength is just to get the culture and the chemistry and just all that stuff just, you know what I'm saying, for the team. I don't think that Monty is the best X and O coach out there. And I just feel like Tyronn Lue is a very good, very strategical coach. And I feel like even though, yes, he kind of coached him into an L last night against the Wolves because he went small for whatever reasons. Like, you got Karl-Anthony Towns with 5 fouls, and he decided to sit Zubac and Hartenstein for how, like, but anyways, yeah. So I just feel like X and O's wise, I think that Tyronn Lue can win that matchup, and I feel like Tyronn Lue took it to 6 last year. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like, I think that the Clippers are pretty deep. But, like, I think that they're deep on, their last legs. Like, I think that whatever unit – well, I don't know who's all back or, like, how many games Nicholas Batum has been back. I don't know what happened to Luke Kennard and how he fell out the lineup. Norman Powell's probably been back, like, a couple games. PG's been back a couple games. And I think that they're deep, but, like, they're on, like, you know what I mean? So I don't know how, like, their bench is going to look against our bench. So I'm pretty confident in that. But, like, majority of the time, like, you know what I mean? Like, they got the starters out there. So that's why I'm not completely confident, just because I think that Tyronn is a good coach.
I think we had a little bit of karma built up against us to a point as well, too, with the Valley-oop and a few things. So I understand that. JJ, I want to hear from you right after we hear from Dan here. But Dan, hearing Randy say Ty Lue might be a better coach than maybe not a better coach. You said better X's and O's guys. Let's get that out there. You said better X's and O's, better than Monty. Would you agree with that? Are you worried about a potential matchup with a possibly better coach?
No, it's going to be a sweep. And sorry, Randy.
I hope so.
Look, man, Tyronn Lue, he's a good coach. He's won a championship, right? But he won that championship with LeBron James. Let's not make any
coming through a half a year, by the way.
Right. So it's just like he's a good coach, like you said, very good at X's and O's. He did a great job this year managing injuries. However, he is not a better coach than Monty Williams, man. He's just not. And he's definitely not a better leader than Monty Williams. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't think he's a better leader.
So I feel like Monty Williams doesn't get enough credit as an X's and O's coach just because he has that leadership. Everybody thinks leadership, right? Everyone thinks leadership when they think Monty Williams. They think the speech after the 8-0 bubble run, right? They think of him talking to DeAndre Ayton during a halftime show, telling him go get to the level you were at, and then DeAndre Ayton going and getting to that level and closing that game out. That's what they think of, right? So Tyronn Lue, good coach, sure, really good X's and O's guys, but he's definitely not better than Monty Williams. Now, don't ask me to provide examples because I could not provide you any examples.
I was just about to say that.
Because, so, you know.
I was just about to say, because I feel like, do you think that you can remember a time where you felt like Monty made some in-game adjustments? Because I don't know if you know, but I watch the finals run all the time when we lost in Milwaukee.
It's disgusting how much he does.
It's like he literally made no adjustments. And it's just like, I get what you're saying, but like I love Monty too, but I'm not gonna be blinded and be like he's just like the greatest coach. Like he does everything. Like there's specific categories that he excels in, and there's some he's not. So like he has weaknesses as a coach. So I feel like that's okay to acknowledge and that's okay to say out loud. You know what I mean? Without kind of taking away from his greatness.
That's fair. I think it's more to the fact that Monty Williams, I don't think you see it as much because, like, for me, one of the biggest adjustments that happens, and you can just call it a switch being flipped, is the way this team plays defense when it's time to play defense, and that's in the fourth quarter. I mean, you saw that Jazz game, right? They were getting cooked all game.
Yeah.
They were down 17 points. And then, I said this on our podcast. I said, it's almost like Monty he let everybody off the leash and said, go get them. Now, not necessarily an X's and O's thing, an adjustment thing, but him just being able to say the word go and having the team say, okay, now it's go time, I think that just holds so much more weight. And, I mean, given if you trade rosters, right, if you give Ty Lue this roster, does he win 65 or 66 games? You know what I mean? So it's like it's tough. But I do understand where you're coming from. Maybe it's the hat, though. I don't know.
It is absolutely the hat. JJ, I wanna piggyback on what Dan said. If Tyronn Lue is the coach of this Suns team, do we win 65, 64 games?
I'm definitely in the camp that Ty Lue's a really good coach, definitely a top 5 coach in the league. He just knows his stuff, and it's crazy how the Lakers didn't hire him and instead went with Frank Vogel. But anyway, if you gave Monty, the Clippers, and Ty Lue to the Suns, I think Ty Lue would definitely set an example for this team. I think Ty Lue is a pretty good leader. I'm not going to call him like the best leader. Monty is a guy that walks around with quotables. Everybody knows his story. He has great sayings. He's like your favorite uncle and stuff. And to piggyback on what Dan said, just when Monty says go, basically all the dogs are off the leash. That's what JaVale says every pregame, dude. So this team is insane. I don't think Tyronn Lue can really hit a nerve like how Monty can. Like Monty is like a player's coach. Like that not necessarily goes down to their level, but he understands where they're coming from, where they mostly thrive at, and he blossoms that through his coaching. Ty Lue, I think he's a little bit more of an X and O sort of guy, and I think he learned a lot of that being under David Blatt and watching how LeBron kind of put everything together. Because that's a perfect little recipe to get started with as a coach. You see one of the greatest players of all time, just do his thing, and you learn from that, and you learn from other great mentors as well. But Randy, I don't know why you use and abuse yourself by rewatching the finals all the time.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I did it 3 times just to ingrain it in my head, and I just let it go. But what did Monty do after they lost and he went into the locker room and he said, "You made us better." And ever since then, all I've seen is Monty make adjustments, and he's never necessarily gone back on his word. We've seen different lineups. We've seen different, a different mentality going into these games. And obviously, this team has something to prove at the end of the day after each game. And we're like the biggest sore losers in the league right now. And like we're just kind of going crazy. So you see a lack of adjustments. I think I'm seeing enough and a lot of game planning going into each and every game than I did last season. So I agree and disagree. I do see where you're coming from.
Randy, rewatching that.
You said where am I rewatching it at?
No. I was gonna say, Randy. Rewatching it so many times could be driving you a little crazy, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I feel it too because I get triggered randomly. I always equate it. Sometimes
why do you gotta do Ty Lue like that?
I feel like I have Tourette sometimes because like I'll literally just be minding my own business one day and I'll think of it and I'm like fuck and I just get pissed and we lose 2-0 lead in the finals.
Yeah, and then like I said, it's just like we got to call a spade. Like let's call it what it is. Like we lost 4 straight games. Like, we hadn't lost 4 straight games all year, and you can't sit up here and like yes, I understand people were hurt and stuff like that, but it's just like a lot of that was just coaching adjustments. We didn't want to build a wall. We kept running 2-3. We let Giannis go coast to coast without stopping or at least making him change directions. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like at the end of the day, we got to call a spade. And then there's a couple of times this year too where the thing that irritates me the most that he does is that at the end of games, he doesn't call a timeout. Like he lets it, like he tries to let the offense like set up with, or like he tries to go without a set offense. And I feel like we've lost every single game he's done that. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I kind of disagree with that.
I
mean,
we lost totally one with Jake. We lost
the
one with
only
Jake
game I
Crowder
can think of that is that the only
Jake
game I can
Crowder.
think of that is the Jazz game. One of the earlier Jazz games. I think it was the early
The third
Sunday
game. That was the third
yeah,
game.
the third.
Yeah,
the
when Jake
third
Crowder
game.
lost his mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost
That's
a
the
few.
only time I can think of not calling that
Or,
timeout. Like,
or
I agree with
the
the
one
Knicks
Raptors
call.
game we lost.
The
I'll
Raptors.
say that's
Yeah.
fine, but I'll say this.
I think against the Clippers also the first time.
Yeah,
But
like you said, we'll call a spade, Randy. Like I get that, but at this point, if you're doing that, I think you're just nitpicking it because they lost. They didn't lose very many games. They lost
true.
17 games.
Sure.
16 games or dude, I don't even know how many games they
18.
lost. That's
Doesn't matter.
18
It's,
games.
it's so good.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, they like again. I'll go back to what I said earlier is. All right, he didn't make those end of the game adjustments. Let's say Ty Lue does. Do they win 66 instead of 64? It's just, I don't know, man. You say call a spade, I get it, but I call a spade, and I still say Monty Williams is a better coach. We'll agree to disagree on that one.
I think you have a little bit of post-traumatic stress disorder from watching that finals too many times.
We all
watched
do.
it I watched it one time, and I don't need to watch it again. I know what
I
happened.
mean,
and
I have it. I have PTSD just from watching it once. So.
I still have PTSD from John Paxson. What do you want from me, right?
Right.
So X's and O's wise and changing things out. Like, the things that the Clippers do is they change up their defense a lot. They'll come down one time, run a zone defense, and then next time they're going man. They're going man all the way, and then they're going to throw in a matchup zone in there. That is one thing that they do. And I appreciate that from a coaching standpoint. I did that at the high school level because kids couldn't catch it real quickly. And you know what? It actually works at the professional level every once in a while. I respect what he does, but I just don't even think it comes down to coaching if we do play the Clippers. I think it comes down to the Clippers not playing together enough, having their own continuity. Norman Powell and Paul George have played together 2 games. And those are heavily dependent guys, which they can do. And Tyronn Lue is a coach that I feel can put those guys in places to succeed. I do think he can do that. But I just don't think they have the cohesion to be able to beat this well-oiled machine that is the Phoenix Suns that have organic chemistry from the top to bottom. 2 years in a row that they've put in what 2, 3, 4 different players from last year's squad to this year's squad. They're making trades in season again, and everybody gets along.
You can't coach that.
You can't coach that. You can't overlook it. Excuse me. And we have home field advantage, home court advantage. So you know what? I'm confident with this team. I'm confident in Monty. But if there was a coach in the Western Conference that I was afraid of, it would be Ty Lue. And by the way, we are recording this on what night is this? Wednesday night. We've got the Pelicans and the Spurs going at it right now. It is now back and forth. It is only a 6-point game with 4:45 to go.
Ooh.
Pelicans had the ball. CJ McCollum gets fouled driving in the baseline. I don't know if he's going to the line or not. So that is a close game. So you know what? There's still hope for the ones that wanted to play the Spurs just to beat the Spurs. There's still a little bit of hope there. I still think the Pels pull it off, and the Clippers and Pelicans is an intriguing-ass matchup. Dan, what's your confidence level like? This whole playoff run, starting with game 1 on Sunday all the way out, what is your confidence level at?
You know, I'm scared to say it, but I'm extremely confident. That's not who I am. And you can listen to my podcast. You can listen to my. I mean, Justin and Paul always joke that I used to speak losses into existence because back when I had season tickets, we'd go to games together, and I'd say we'd be up by 15, and then it'd be cut down to 11, and it'd be like, we're gonna lose this damn game, aren't we? We are, and then they'd lose. That was back 2018 days. But so having gone through all that and having all that PTSD. When I think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think there's a team on planet Earth that can beat this Suns team 4 to 7 times. It scares me to say that because we had John Paxson, because we had Robert Ory, who's since apologized. If you guys haven't caught that, by the way,
doesn't matter. Happened. Not over
right?
it.
Not over the kiss of death, right? Not over blowing a 2-0 lead against Milwaukee last year. I say it cautiously, but goddamn, this team is so good, man.
You got some wood next to you? Knock it.
Thank you. My bar is made of wood. Goddamn, dude. I'm so confident that this team's going to be lifting that trophy at the end of this playoff run, man. They're going to get 16 more wins. And you know what's crazy? I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I think their biggest challenge is going to be in the finals, and I do think they're going to play Milwaukee again.
Wow, yeah, that's the way it's looking to me. The only team that scares me would definitely be the Nets, just because of their talent. I'm worried of their talent. I don't think that they're going to do it, but we have seen KD do it before.
Okay, have we? Or has KD done it with a Warriors team that was a dynasty? When did KD?
We've seen KD win playoff series.
Sure,
that's a fact. We've seen KD win single games. That's a fact. We have seen Kyrie Irving also do it at the highest of level. I don't want to discount what a healthy Goran Dragic looks like. Even a 70% Goran Dragic can look like for their bench. I don't want to discount what Patty Mills has done. Apparently, Andre Drummond is looking better than he did last year. Mm-hmm. Which, okay, that's fine. I'm not really too worried about that. But I will always have a hard time picking against talent like Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Do I think that they will do it? Ultimately, no. I think it does go to the Bucks. But if there's another team I'm afraid of, it's that team. And if that team gets there, we should be worried because they're going to be, the 7th seed? And they would have gone through 3 series not being the home team.
Mm. And just to add to that, if KD wore a size 12, we would have faced him in the finals last year. So he was right there, dude. So
Harden doesn't go down with an injury, maybe something different, but ifs or fifths, that whole thing.
Yeah. So I don't think this Nets team is going to go particularly far. Not to say that the Cavs game wasn't a prime example of how this team operates. It's just the overall lack of chemistry and just overall body language with this team. This isn't a reflection of KD. KD's been doing his job. He got injured a couple of times. He's been doing what he's supposed to be doing, and his teammates have been not on his side. James Harden fished his way out of another team, another situation, and Kyrie's just being Kyrie. and just the lack of overall execution with this team and organization. And KD can carry you, but he can only carry you so far.
Correct.
With Kyrie back and vaccination stuff not being necessarily a threatening thing anymore when it comes to just playing games. For sure, Kyrie and KD can get a couple series done, but going against like a healthy Milwaukee team, I think the Celtics might actually beat the Nets in the first round in either 6 or 7 games. I think it's rumored that Robert Williams might come back by Game 3.
Wow, that's soon.
Yeah, Game 3 or Game 4. But Boston is rolling right now, and I'm not saying they're like the best team in the East, but if we're gonna rank them right now, it's Milwaukee, then it's Boston, then Philly underneath, and there's a reason why the Nets are just in the play-in. It's just this overall execution of the season. So,
Randy,
what up?
Boston and Brooklyn. Who do you got winning that one?
I'm not completely sold on. I just feel like I have a bias. I'm gonna go Brooklyn only because I feel like I get a whole lot of people coming at me saying that Jason Tatum is better than Devin Booker. So it's just I built up some sort of resentment towards Jason Tatum, even though I like his game.
Tatum's fault. Tatum wanted to come here, dude. Tatum wanted to come here to play with Booker. So it's not a reflection against him. It's just Celtics fans are annoying as fuck. So
Randy just triggered me, man.
Yeah, they come for me. They be like, "Oh, Jason Tatum is better than Devin Booker and all this other stuff, and he should get MVP." And I get it. They went from 11th to first seed. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like with the injury to Robert Williams, I feel like, and just even though the elephant in the room, if we really want to get surgical, Jaylen Brown is so injury prone. It's just you never really know. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I feel like I'll take Brooklyn just because I feel like I don't know if I would want to go up against a pissed off Kyrie and a pissed off KD. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't know if KD would be pissed off, but I don't know if I really want to go against a pissed off Kyrie because he's
Ramadan Kyrie is something
else. Oh my god! And then you add that on top, he's already.
He was insane yesterday.
He's already a cheat code, bro.
Dude was pissed off because he couldn't drink anything. Imagine that for a series.
Guys, what do you mean? Fasting's easy, right?
Especially on a flat Earth, it makes it easier.
Jesus, freaking KOC, man. I'm not the biggest fan.
I want to trigger Dan a little bit more, and I'm just going to pose this question. I'm going to take my announcer hat off. I'm going to put my conversation sense hat on. Next year in the offseason, if we had an opportunity to do this, 1-for-1 straight up, are you trading Mikal Bridges for Jason Tatum?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Why would I break up a championship team? Listen, here's you guys. I've had many Jason Tatum rants. I feel like Jason Tatum is one of the most overrated players in the NBA, and I hate Bill Simmons for it because I feel like he's ahead of his spear,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
and guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but he's still only 19 years old. Right? Because that's what everybody says. Oh, he's only 19. That was the whole damn argument. He is not better than Devin Booker, okay? He's just not. Stop it. Get some help, like the Michael Jordan meme says.
Just some help.
Stop it. Get help. He's not better than Devin Booker. Listen, Jason Tatum is a good player. He's a really, really, really good player. He should not even be in the same breath as Devin Booker right now. He just really shouldn't. People want to talk about his defense. Guess what? Devin Booker is the top-rated defensive 2-guard in the league.
Yep.
So,
Top 3. He's not 3 or 2.
and his weak side defense, it has been impeccable ever since Chris Paul started getting in his ear about playing defense. His weak side defense is underrated as all hell.
Absolutely, and not to mention that Jason Tatum's decision making is he's almost his basketball IQ is not there because he does the dumbest shit sometimes. Going back to dribbling out the shot clock and then taking a 20-footer, and just says, dude.
You remember that time? This is when I knew that his IQ was a little but you remember that time in the bubble when he when it was him, it was Celtics versus the Heat, and like it was last.
Oh, I know what you're
second on the
talking
clock,
about.
and
Oh,
he
I
tried
know
to
exactly
he tried to throw it in on Bam. I was like, yo, he's on a different type of time. Like, yo, like why is that your go-to? Like game on the line, like I'm about to yam it in on Bam. Like, yo, this boy is crazy. He's like,
And you know what's crazy is I've seen it like twice, and I'll go back to last season. I think this was last season. It was like the first game of the year, and they were playing I think they were playing the Bucks, and like Giannis missed like a free throw, and then like he got an inbound pass and threw like this crazy three that literally hit the exact spot of the backboard where it could only possibly go into the basket, and then everybody was like, "Oh my God, Clutch Tatum, he's Mr. Clutch." I'm like, dude, he missed by like 6 feet,
Mm-hmm.
but physics, physics
Right.
is physics, so it hit the perfect spot for it to somehow go in. And then, everybody was pumping their chest. Oh, Tatum this, Tatum that.
yeah,
Dude, man. That,
yeah, no, they come on
not
strong.
a lot. Well, actually, a lot triggers me, but let's be real. But that is a tough one, man. The whole Tatum's better than Booker. Oh, I just
Yeah. What about the Donovan Mitchell? Because we got that for a while, and then now I feel like Booker is just
That's not even a question anymore.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just dumb. Like people
Now-
are just
now-
like,
yeah. I was about to say
Now-
now it's more of a Ja Morant because when I posted the Grizzlies, like literally everybody was like, "Yo, the Grizzlies, Ja Morant." Like I didn't know when this happened. I don't know if like maybe on Twitter if they be talking about it, but like when did Ja Morant leapfrog Devin Booker? Like it was like
This
that's another
season,
one, man. That's another
like
one.
because at least Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, it was a conversation, and then now it's at a
Yeah.
point where Ja Morant is just like transcended Devin Booker. Was just like don't even like it's like yo, when did this happen?
I mean, don't get me started on Triple J too.
yeah.
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 That's another conversation that really triggers me, man. Oh, Triple J is better than DeAndre Ayton, and Suns fans say that. Suns fans have said that. But
That's interesting. That's super interesting.
Well, we're gonna get Triple
Pelicans
J
win.
on Triple J on Brandon Ingram on Friday night. That's gonna be a hell of a matchup. We're gonna see right
I
there.
might actually watch that game.
Valanciunas against Zubats, CJ McCollum versus Paul George.
Oh, did they close it out?
They closed the
113,
Pelicans
103.
113-103. CJ McCollum had 32 points on 12 of 23 shooting. Valanciunas had 22 and 14. Brandon Ingram had 27. And Alvarado off the bench, the little scrappy mofo, got 12 as well. Here's the reason they lost, though. DeJounte Murray, 16 points on 5 of 19 shooting, 9 rebounds, 5 assists.
Mitchell
The only scorer on that team.
Keldon Johnson went 6 for 20, 0 for 5 from 3. The team as a whole shot 38% from 3. And I had it right here.
Devin
53
Vassell.
to 34 rebounding. Pelicans over the Spurs, 53 to 34. So there you go. Rebounding is going to be a huge key on Friday night when the Clippers meet the Pels to find out who we finally play. Isn't it awesome to be the number 1 seed, the best team in the NBA, and we have no idea who the hell we're playing until 2 days before our matchup? Make that make sense.
You know why though? Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your name.
We're gonna whoop either one of their asses. So
Yeah,
Hey,
that's true.
I actually have a question for all you guys. I heard this today from just a random TikToker guy, and he said, like instead of the play-in, right? Like, what if the top 3 seeds in each conference get to pick their first opponent in the first round?
That'd
Let's
be interesting.
go.
top
Because-
3. I don't know about top 3. Maybe the 1 and 2 seed.
We can do top 2, but I'm just saying like if you pick a team, all right, like let's say the Suns pick, the Spurs or whatever, just because, or the Clippers, fuck the Clippers. If we pick the Clippers, it creates just anger within that organization. Like, oh, they're picking us because they think they can beat us. It causes all this tension. So right from game 1, it's all that anger and all this chippiness and stuff, and hopefully Scott Foster isn't officiating that game. It just causes this whole, this whole thing. I think that would be a lot better.
What they should do is they should erase conferences altogether, and it should be 1 through 16, and the number 1 plays the number 16 seed. This is the number 16 seed. So we would have played in this scenario. Well, technically, the Knicks and the Pelicans would have made the playoffs, and the Wizards and Spurs would have been the first 2 out in that scenario, by the way. So we would have played the Wizards in that scenario.
Ugh. Beautiful.
Talk about a favorable matchup, but that's with the 20. So if you do 16, that would have been the Charlotte Hornets, and the Clippers would have been the first team out as a 17th seed, for what it's worth.
Oh, wow.
So we would have played the Hornets, and then the number 2 seed, it would be the Grizzlies Hawks. We would see the Heat versus the Cavs, the Warriors versus the Nets, by the way.
Ooh.
Mavericks and Bulls.
This already sounds so much better.
Mavericks and Bulls, Celtics
like
and
this.
T-Wolves, Bucks and
mine,
Nuggets, and Jazz and Raptors, and 76ers. Yeah, that would have been way more fun.
Yeah, I would pick the Hawks to beat the Grizzlies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm just going off of, bias, because I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I think
I think that the Grizzlies have a lot of flaws, but nobody wants to talk about that.
They do. I think they're going to beat Minnesota, but I think
We'll see.
I guess it.
I'm questioning that series now. I'm questioning it.
You are?
No.
Yeah, I think the Wolves might pull it out in 7.
Oof. Here's the thing about the Grizzlies, man. The playoffs is a half court. It's a half court game in the playoffs, and
Thank you.
they don't play a good half court game. They rely on going up and down and fast breaks, and the reason Ja has so many crazy ass highlight dunks that are unbelievable is because they're on a fast break.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the game. And people will say, oh, well, you're a hater. No, man, go look at the 7 seconds or less Suns. That haunted them too, because a lot of that was they were running gun as well. And in the playoffs, man, when it came to executing within a 24-second shot clock and the half court, sometimes it just didn't work out. And I don't think they don't have the shot creators that, the Suns have with, Devin Booker and Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton can create his own shot.
Campaign as well.
Campaign. They don't have that. And the Grizzlies, who's going to do it? John Morant. So you sag off of him, and he can't shoot. I mean, he's gotten better, but he can't shoot. So what are we going to, what's he going to do? Like, it's just going to become a let's hope and pray these threes come in. You're like,
Yep.
Come on, man.
So, if we do play, everybody thinks we're going to play the Grizzlies and they're going to steamroll. Who would you put McHale on? Would you put McHale on a guy like Desmond Bane? Would you put him on Dylan Brooks? Would you put him on Ja Morant? Who do you put McHale on?
I put him on Ja.
Put him on Ja?
Okay.
Yeah.
Booker can cover Dylan Brooks.
Put Jay Crowder on him. Jay Crowder to rough him the whole time. Absolutely.
Jay Crowder has to guard Triple J.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, Steven Adams is in the lineup. Yeah,
Yep.
so DA
And
Steven, then Triple J, Jay. Yeah,
but I'm not worried about them because I feel like Triple J, like he kind of spreads the floor to let Steven Adams kind of do his thing, and he shoots like 32% from 3. So it's just like I'm not really like Jay Crowder. He can go there or either one, so it doesn't really matter to me personally. But I think you hit it right on the nail, man. Like they a lot of their points come in transition. The half court gaming, like, you know what I'm saying, in the playoffs is a thing. And then on top of that, we don't make a lot of mistakes. So it's like every time we get a shot, every time we, you know what I'm saying, come down, like we're going to get a good look. So it's just like you're not going to be able to like just, oh, they took a bad shot, so let's grab it off the rim and throw it down. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I don't have the numbers because I'm not one of those advanced stats guys, but and I actually don't even know how to look this up, but I would think just from like what I remember is the Suns are really good in transition defense. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
We don't let a lot of fast break points go. After a while.
And then you got to worry about the Devin Booker chase down block. So
that scares me every time.
But to add to your point, Randy, it's like what Amit has been preaching all year is margin of error. Shout out to Amit, wish you were here, man. Is the margin of error between teams and in every game. You know, the Suns' margin of error, like we can fuck up a lot and still pull out a win. I mean, that Utah game, that recent game, you can put to it. We were dog shit until the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left, and we turned it on and we cut that lead and we won by double digits. Did we win by double digits?
No, we won by like 6. But it's funny you say that because Friday was when me and Flex got our podcast going up again, and he called me and he's pissed off and I'm pissed off, and he's like, you know what, man, I'm gonna start setting up. Let's start in 15 minutes because this game's pissing me off. And then he started making the run, and we had to postpone it by like 30 minutes because we're like, they're gonna pull this out somehow. Hold Donovan Mitchell to 0 points in the fourth quarter. It's beautiful.
Man. Defensive player of the year, man.
Nutshell.
Remember that time he held like Steph Curry to something similar? Like, but
no, dude, that was just a bad shooting night. No.
You think so?
Of course he held him to 0. Dude,
what was it, like 6 of 25 or something?
It was something nuts.
That gets me so mad. I swear, Steph Curry, I am not a Steph Curry fan at all, man. At all. I personally
Who are you a fan of?
The Suns. I'm sorry, like Steph Curry, I haven't, because before LeBron went to the Lakers, he was my favorite player. Him and Devin Booker. Now LeBron is dead to me, so there's that.
Yeah.
But he was. I don't know, man. I've always said that Curry's the biggest douche in the league. He just is. His shimmy, his dancing, the mouth guard thing. I don't like it. But
they need to be humbled.
He gets such a pass, and it pisses me off because when Mikal had that great game against them, all the talk in the world the next day was, Steph Curry had a shooting night. Get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah.
And he literally had the same night like a week later, and they're like, he's just in a funk. And then when Christmas came around, he was still kind of ass, and they're like, it's like.
Dan, do you think Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time?
Yeah, he is the greatest shooter of all time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Randy?
Yeah, 100%. Yes, because he can do it all. He can do it off the screen. He can do it off the ball. He can do it on the ball. He could, get a little bit of space. So I feel like just how he can do everything at an elite level,
Yeah, it's insane, man. I mean, I before that, I would have said Ray Allen, but
me too.
Steph Curry's unbelievable.
Okay,
ridiculous.
But I hate him.
It's the point with Curry that you can't argue with because he's broken
I would have went Nash.
his own record so many times.
I would have went Nash for number 2 because I feel like Nash is underrated.
Like
Nash is super underrated. I feel like people just forget about Nash. Like I'll take a bullet for Nash,
man. That's why.
But like his just like the jumpers and just like I just miss it so much because it wouldn't even hit the rim. So it's just like, bro, like. His jumper is so water. Like, it's ridiculous.
Form, right before his free throws every time. Who didn't love seeing that?
Right.
What, that 97% free throw shooter?
I mean, now that we're talking shooters, I feel like I got to throw mine. I mean, I don't want to say it's Curry because I feel like I would still take Ray Allen. But, Curry. Fine. Curry.
Sure.
Ray Allen. For me, Reggie Miller is number 3. Number 4, I'm going to go with Peja Stojakovic.
Dude, Peja was so good.
Number 5, I really want to put Dirk there. I really want to put Dirk there, but I don't know if I can. He's the greatest shooting big man of all time.
I give you that.
He's
I thought that was Cat.
But as far as percentages, man, I'm not going to ignore Steve Nash there. Those percentages were just stupid good. But I mean, 0.8 seconds left. You need a 3 to tie or win. I would give the ball in the hands of Reggie Miller anytime. Anything under a second when you needed a 3 to tie or keep going. Like, man, Dan, do you remember Reggie back in the day?
I do, man.
Holy hell.
Do.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Like, I still have yet to see somebody do buzzer beaters like that. I don't know if I'm missing somebody. I mean, Steph's had some. LeBron's had some. I mean, nothing like Reggie, though, right?
Yeah, he had that one against the Bulls, right? That was just insane. Yeah. And then, he would always kill the Knicks. And
down 6, make a 3, get a steal, make a 3, tie game all of a sudden.
with the
One of my
choke.
favorite highlights
Choke.
that come on.
Great, dude.
What
That
was
was
the Reggie time? Anybody that doesn't know that we're talking about 30 for 30 ESPN has, I think it's Reggie time.
Yeah.
It's
Miller
30
time.
for
I thought it
30.
was
Miller
Miller
time. It's
Miller
Miller,
time.
time. Right.
Yeah.
Miller time. Yeah.
Reggie Miller time. Watch that.
Great
It's
doc.
I think it's close to an hour long, but man, that was a lot of fun. I have a hard time ever picking anybody else other than Reggie for a clutch shot. Who do you go with, Dan?
I mean,
What's your top
Reggie-
5, Dan?
My top 5 shooters of all time. I got to go
Yeah.
Steph.
Yeah.
I got to go Steph, Ray Allen. I got to throw Steve Nash in there. Steph, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, Reggie Miller.
I didn't
And,
bring up Clay. I had Peja and I had Reggie in mine.
Damn.
I feel like we're missing. I mean, Larry Bird, obviously, you could throw out there.
Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver was good.
He was good for his time. Not JJ Redick. He was pretty good though.
J. Riddick was good. I mean, I
Correa was
don't-
pretty good.
John
don't-
Paxson.
Oh God. I don't want to put. I really don't want to put Clay in there, but Clay's a great shooter too. But
Yeah.
I
I mean,
John
yeah.
Suggs says Curry, Ray Allen, Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, Clay Thompson, Kyle Korver. I don't know if there's a bad answer there, really.
I mean, it's preference at the end of the day. You know?
yeah, I kind of want to go back to your 0.8 seconds left. Who you give the ball to?
All time. You have to get a 3 to tie the game, or you lose. Fabio
would pick
says
Reggie.
Alfred Payton. How did we forget?
Hell. How
Beat
did that?
Tatum.
Did you guys talk about that? Like, how do we let go Frank, but keep Alfred? Like, make that
Injury.
make sense.
I want to
Injury.
go back to that question with Randy, but I think I'm going to go Ray Allen, man.
0.8 seconds left on the clock. Need a 3. All-time player ever. You're going Ray Allen.
Ray Allen's
Bosch tips it to Allen. Dude, people were walking out. I felt like I didn't feel bad.
I mean-
for those motherfuckers. God damn, dude.
God,
I
that
hate
was-
to say it.
one of the
Who's
best
another guy
games
that
I've
you
seen.
could throw in there would be Robert Ory.
God.
I know. I'm talking.
That dude was
I
clutch,
know.
man.
I mean,
I ain't gonna lie.
you know what? Let's just throw Mario Elliott in there while we're at it, right?
Sean Elliott?
Robert Horry. Sean Elliott. So no, look, man. Clutch wise, I'll say Ray Allen, Reggie Miller
not
for
bad.
second. I'm not putting Curry in the clutch. He's terrible.
You got to put.
in the clutch.
I think MJ would have been my number 2 for me.
And I mean, you could. I mean, if we're talking about clutch shots, you can do MJ, Kobe, LeBron.
No, hell no, I'm not throwing LeBron out there. But
Yeah, I'm throwing LeBron.
I'm sorry,
in there.
Jay. I'm sorry, Jay.
Well,
Forgive me.
statistically, LeBron's more clutch than Jordan. but
Yeah,
keep going. So, it's fine. You can be wrong, Randy. It's fine. But it's cool.
Statistically, he's one of the best clutch shooters of all time in the clutch. As a Laker now, it pains me to say it, but it is what it is. I'm not even putting Curry in the top 5 as far as clutch goes, man. Like I said, he's awful. Yeah, at one point during the finals, they put up a stat that said he was over 20 when they were either tied or down, and he shot a shot in the last 30 seconds. It was
Not
crazy.
that guy. He's not that guy.
He's not.
It's
that
funny.
guy, man.
Because he made me
That's
some money
crazy to
last year,
say.
man. I bet that Steph Curry couldn't carry the Warriors to the playoffs last year, and I actually won some bread off that. And I was just like, he's not that guy. He's just not that.
You gotta
Neither is Kelly
You gotta
Oubre.
thank you gotta thank the Memphis Grizzlies for that one, man.
Yeah.
That's true.
And he
One
still
game to get
finished-
in, and you can't win. And
And
you're the
he's
greatest
still-
shooter ever.
and he still finished top 3 in MVP. Just gonna say that,
Man,
right? Just gonna
That
say
was
Chris
that.
Paul
wild.
finished.
That was
What did
wild,
Chris
too.
Paul finish last year? Because I was
He
like,
fin-
if
he
D
fifth.
Book can't even get it, but Chris
He
Paul
finished
got
fifth.
it last year, and he all right, Chris Paul
I think
finished
D Book's
fifth.
gonna finish 4th. Yeah.
You
Chris
think
Paul
so?
finished 5th last year. I think D Book's gonna finish 4th.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't if he was 8 or something.
I think I'd write it.
I don't know, man, because I feel like we just ignore the disrespect that Book constantly gets. Like, we put out the Lakers, he dropped 47. Chris Baines is asking him about a double team in the summer. Like, that's where we are. You know what I mean? Like, we got to call a spade a spade. It's just like, we just
Yeah.
constantly
I feel you.
disrespect.
Trust me, man. I'm banging the drum for that all the time, man. I hate the disrespect. And you know what pisses me off is when I say it on Twitter, Suns fans will be like, you know, because when we talk about the winning stuff, and you know, I say no, don't credit him because he didn't win. All right, John, I got you. So, you know, he didn't win. And then when I say that about certain players, people are like, oh, well, that's the same argument we were making for Book. And I'm like, okay, then yeah, keep that same energy. Like, I'm not, just because we had to go through it, doesn't mean you're exempt. Hell no. If Book didn't get it, this player's not getting it either. Like, I'm not going there, man. I don't know why people like to do that. Everybody wants to sing Kumbaya and say, hey, no, let them in because, hey, we went through the same thing. No, hell no, dude. Like, if we had to suffer, they have to suffer too. Sorry. It's petty? Hell yeah. But, you know, that's me.
Everybody
You
got
win.
suffer.
Dig it.
You know, it has to make its rounds, man. So.
Yeah. We win 17 games. They're talking about how Devin Booker's arguing with a Raptor at the free throw line. So it's just like so it's just like
Or
I don't
getting
understand, like, why do we
double-teamed
like
fucking practice?
why do we get surprised when we don't? You know what I mean? So I just feel like that's where I'm
But
at.
yeah,
with it mentally.
I'm just to the point where I assume it's gonna come, and you know what? I'm not tweeting anybody. I've talked to you offline a couple times about this too. I'm not tweeting anybody during this playoffs. I'm not responding to anything. I am bookmarking every goddamn thing though. So
That's
at
petty.
the end
That is
of at the
extremely
end of the season, it's on. That's what I'm doing. That's my whole goal for this 2022 playoffs thing. But I do want to talk about Frank the Tank and how much we all already miss him and how he's kind of a part of us, and now that part of us is gone. And unfortunately, we have to watch Elfrid Payton. At least he has a haircut, so it's a little bit more tolerable. But Dan, give me your thoughts real quick on Frank the Tank being gone. Do you think he'll come back next year? Do you expect him to come back, and this is just an injury thing? What do you think?
I do. I expect him. And I joked about this on our pod. I said, I feel like Frank Kaminsky's going to be the Suns' version of Udonis Haslem. They're going to give him a veteran minimum deal until he's like, I'm done. I think he will be back next year. He's a perfect fit, man. He's a good locker room guy. He, you know, as far as play goes, this year I feel like he was on his way to a really good season.
He had 31 points in a game.
Yeah, man. And it was, you know, his story, how he said, you know, he went to Monty and he said, hey, man, I don't want to just be another bench guy that's, you know, buried at the end of the bench. I want to be something. And Monty's like, all right, I'll get you there. And it almost felt like it was going that way. Unfortunately, he had the stress reaction fracture or whatever that was called. And it never came to fruition. And, you know, people are upset because they want Elfrid Payton out, right? And I totally understand that. Elfrid Payton has not been good. He's been ass, as you know, you could say it.
He's been the worst player on the roster.
He has. But he's also available. He's a body that can play. Now, do we want him to play? Probably not. If he's playing in the playoffs, we're in some trouble unless it's mop-up time, right? But I feel like people don't understand is, you know, Monty Williams is a good, very good basketball coach, but he's probably an even better man and mentor. So I always think of things, okay, what is he going through? Maybe Elfrid Payton's going through something that we don't know about. He could be having something very difficult off the court. You know, you never know what people are going through. And could something be going on to where Monty's like, I need to keep this kid close because I don't want him to feel alone. Now, some would say, well, you're going to put that in front of the team's needs. Guys, Frank wasn't going to play. He wasn't. He's not going to play the rest of the season. So what is other than people not wanting to see Elfrid Payton play, you know, what's the downside of keeping Elfrid, especially if maybe he's going through something we don't know. And honestly, I mean, I don't know if he is or not. For all I know, he could be perfectly fine. But I always try and think of things from different angles. And I'm like, maybe he's going through some shit. And Monty's like, you know what, man? He's like, I got you. Doesn't mean he's going to play in the playoffs, but being around a team and being around a group of guys that are so, you know, close knit, maybe that's just what he needs right now. Just something I thought about.
And I kind of look at last year's squad. Who was their number 15 guy on the bench? Tyshawn Alexander, right? So did he see a lick of playing time? Nope. I wouldn't expect him to, even if I'm not gonna speculate or say anything on injuries. If he has to play, if one of the guys in front of them goes down, suspended, 2 technicals, or whatever it may be, I would still expect like Campaign and Aaron Holiday to carry the load, or Chris Paul and Aaron Holiday to carry the load, or some sort of combination. So I'm not too worried about that. And we would see more point book too if we had to. We would go with point book and wings as opposed to letting Alfred play. So hopefully Monty learned this. John has another question. In your honest opinion, is it Booker or Bridges the reason for the Suns' success? I know Book has put the points up a bit. Bridges has played a huge role. What do you think, Dan?
I mean, I think obviously Devin Booker's the MVP of this team, but I'll go one further and say that Mikal Bridges is the defensive MVP of this team. So, if you're gonna pick one, I'm still gonna pick Devin Booker because he brings it all, and not to mention his leadership. But Mikal Bridges can't go unnoticed. He guards the best guy on the other team every single night. Never complains. He has the most. I saw this the other day. He has the most traveled distance in an NBA game in the league. So nobody covers more distance. And I forgot there's they put a mileage on it, and I should have written it down, but I don't remember.
It's like a mile and a half. It's like a mile 30 something.
A game, right? It's insane.
Yeah, it's a game. Yeah.
He's like a free safety out there, y'all.
Yeah, and he's goofy as all hell, provides great entertainment, and never complains. I mean, think about how cheap Mikal Bridges is going to be for the next 4 years, right? $90 million. Really?
Yeah.
He's only 25 years old.
Steal, dude.
Yeah. I feel like to answer that question, I'm going to go kind of, I guess, off the rails. But I don't want to trigger Coach, you know what I'm saying, but with the Ayton world. But I think Ayton, I'm going to go DeAndre Ayton. I think that he's the most. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because I feel like, yes, we won a lot without him. But I feel like in those games were a lot closer than when he plays. You know what I mean? Like, those games are like 10-point wins opposed to like when he's not there, then, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like just for a hot second, imagine if we had to run out with JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo as our starting center, or like starting and backup centers, and we didn't have Ayton. Like, I feel like Ayton does so much that goes under the radar. And I'm not trying to pump him up because, like I said, I still don't think he's a max guy, but he does so much stuff. Like, he allows Mikal to be great. You know what I'm saying? Because in those stretches in the stretches when Ayton was out, like, Mikal was struggling a little bit on defense because he would kind of send people to the paint, and then like JaVale McGee or Bismack or whoever was down there just didn't have it like that, or like they just weren't like connected like that. So I feel like Ayton definitely cleans up a lot of mistakes, and then his switchability, like in the playoffs, in the sense of he can go out and go guards and just. But I feel like he doesn't get the credit or whatever. But I think, like, in the grand scheme of things, I think Ayton. But that's just me.
Well, I kind of had a question regarding Ayton and whatnot. I had a little bit of a debate with a friend today about who the most important player was on the Suns. You could say Book, you could say Ayton, you could say Chris Paul is the most important player. So, with that question in mind, do you think we can win a series in the playoffs? For one, if Devin Booker didn't play, or if Chris Paul didn't play, or if DeAndre Ayton didn't play. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? A question that I'm asking.
So, like, which one can we win a series without?
Correct.
I think that we could win a series, and I feel like it's kind of been proven a little bit. I think we can win a series without Chris Paul, because I think that Clippers series, he didn't come back until like game 4. Or something like that. So it was just like we kind of won that without him. We literally won the Lakers one without. We won the Lakers series without him. Even though a lot of people don't. All the Laker fans, they be like, "Oh, what?" Anyways, but we couldn't beat Giannis without him. But I think we can win. But without Ayton, I feel like I said, I feel like he cleans up a lot of mistakes and does a lot of other stuff. And then he actually won me some money too, because last year I bet that I think it was my cousin. I bet him that like Nikola Jokic wasn't going to score more than 20 points in 3 games, and he only scored 22 points in 1 game. So you know what I mean. And I feel like and that's your reigning MVP right there. So it's just like if that's not saying enough, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to tell you at this point.
What do you think, Dan?
I like what Reddy said. I think, like you said, I think Chris Paul. I mean, it was kind of proven last. I mean, they won half a series basically without him, right?
Right.
They won those first 2 games, and then game 3 and 4. They won game 4, and you guys know how that went.
Yeah.
I
Then
think
him with COVID.
Then he got hit with COVID.
I think if Book's out, we might be able to win the first round. I don't know anything past that, man. Also, fingers crossed, right? That nothing bad happens to Book. DA, man, DA is interesting because, going back to what Randy was saying earlier about, people saying that, JaVale and Bismack can kind of fill in for him. It's crazy how many people on Suns Twitter, and there's people on Suns Twitter that would rather see Ayton fail than the Suns win a championship, and there just is. It's ridiculous. It is what it is.
For the record, I am not one of those people. Like because he played at the University of Arizona. Get over it, people. It doesn't mean I want the man to fail. It just means I want University of Arizona to fail more than anything.
I hear you, man. I hear you. So there's those people, but with Ayton, I think people really, because people say, "Oh, Ayton can't get a block in 5 games, but JaVale can get 5 in 1 game." Look, man, JaVale takes a lot. JaVale takes a ton of risks, and JaVale fouls a lot. Okay?
He wastes more energy than any other player I've ever seen.
And I love JaVale as a backup. If JaVale was our starting center, we would be so screwed. We would be so screwed.
Yep. Fabio said it perfectly right there.
Exactly, absolutely.
And AD too. He does pretty good on AD.
Yeah, he does good. He does good on AD too.
Street clothes.
Anthony Davis.
So yeah, man, DA is the key to me. If DA plays like DA played last season in the playoffs, nobody's touching us, dude. It's not even gonna be close. It's gonna be a boat race. It just is. And if he can reach another level, because his offense this year has been, he's had dude, his offense has, and people don't give him credit for this, has evolved so much. That little mid-range jumper he has is automatic. That little jump hook he has is automatic.
1 foot in the paint is money. If it's
money. And people don't understand this, but people want him to dunk more. Okay, fine. You want fucking dunks, whatever. I don't give a shit. 2 points is 2 points, right? But his ability on the fast break to just stop and get that little floater in, and
he moves so good as a big man, dude.
You know how many charges he's avoiding by doing that? Do people not see that?
Yeah. Doesn't get in foul trouble a lot either.
He doesn't get in foul trouble a lot.
It's like when you really sit down and look at DA, it's like you have like a damn, like he might be, but it's like I don't know about giving him.
He's a top 5 center. He's a top 5 center.
I mean, he's top 3. Excuse you, top 3. Absolutely.
Okay. He's 6.
Jokic, Embiid, DA.
Where are you putting Giannis? At power forward?
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, he's a power forward.
He's a power forward.
Oh, okay. I always throw him in the center. Okay, then top 3 then. Yeah.
No, Brook Lopez plays center for them. You know who Ayton used to remind me of was Alonzo Mourning, like kind of beginning of last year and the year before that, kind of bubble-ish. Reminded me of that, and then how his game has evolved. He now around the paint, around the rim, he reminds me of a poor man's Tim Duncan. And then he has an automatic jumper, which he already had in Arizona. He lost it for 3 years, and then magically it's back all of a sudden, and now he has a hook shot. But the whole thing about the dunking, I just came to the realization that who was Monty an assistant coach under for so many years and worked with? Tim Duncan. Was Tim Duncan the high flyer guy, that only played good for 8 seasons and then hurt something? No, he played for 15, 16, 17, 18 seasons below the rim as a 7-footer. He found touch off the glass, which is something I would love to see DA, by the way.
Imagine him shooting. If he ever gets
imagine him 15 to 17 feet out on the wings using the glass. It'd be over.
Yeah, once that bank is open for DA,
yeah, exactly. And
it used to piss me off when Duncan did it. I'm like, God damn it, stop using the glass.
But you look now, you look back now, you're like, dude, he was so fucking good.
If
And
DA could ever learn how to
is that not the DeAndre Ayton mold right there, you guys? Like,
Nah.
do you not see a little bit of Tim Duncan and DeAndre Ayton now? The way he
I get-
moves just a little bit. He's a little more quicker. He's got a little more pep to his step than Tim Duncan's bad knees. That's for damn sure.
I gotta
Team in general
go.
looks like the 2013 Spurs.
I gotta disagree. I gotta go with. He's definitely a Dollar Tree David Robinson. You know what I mean?
Dollar Tree.
Like, I think that, but no, I feel like his ceiling is definitely David Robinson. I feel like just the body type, they can both move. Man. David Robinson can shoot the midi. I think that he's underrated too. And
True.
I feel like I see more David Robinson than Tim Duncan, because I feel like I do think that DeAndre Ayton does have a lot of fundamentals, but I feel like Tim Hardaway's fundamentals is like literally just all his game. And I feel like I see a little bit more finesse. I don't know. I feel like I see a little bit more creativity with DA than I do with, you know what I'm saying, with Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was just like straight box. This is how I'm going to do this, and it's going to go up like that. And I feel like I said, I feel like I see more David Robinson in him.
But I feel like his mindset is very Tim Duncan-esque then. Let me rephrase it that way.
I get that.
Just below the rim, making smart decisions, not going to commit charges like he used to. He still's got stone hands. That's a whole different thing. Dan, what do you think? Alonzo Mourning, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Sam Perkins? I don't know.
God.
That I was trying to think of the most obscure center name, and now I just thought of Rick Smits, and I wish I said Rick Smits now.
Oh, Rick Smits.
Egoskis.
Egoskis.
God.
Chris Kaman.
Captain Caveman himself.
You know, Chris Kaman actually, he decided to go back to college. He actually plays for North Carolina. I don't know if you guys saw him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yes.
He slipped on the last play. No, when it was trying to go.
Anyway, yeah, man. I feel like Tim Duncan. I get where you're coming from, Coach, but I see, little bits and pieces about it. Yes, with the, he's very finesse, which is fine. He does throw it down every once in a while, which is fine. He's not going to overpower people
it's fine.
he's not going to overpower people like Shaq, and doesn't need to. Like, I'm sorry, Dan Bickley. Like, he's not going to. He just needs to dunk more, dude. Get the fuck over it, Jesus Christ. I know. Go bother Cliff Kingsbury more, like Jesus did. Dude, like, listen. To me, I would lean more towards Randy with David Robinson. I feel like he's got a lot of Hakeem in him. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you can find clips on YouTube.
His footwork, yes.
Yeah.
He's got great footwork. His that little baseline turnaround that he has when he gets the ball and he just turns around and it's just money. There is, and somebody did it. It was a tweet that I had on my old account before I deleted it. It was a side by side of DA doing it and Hakeem doing it, and it's crazy, dude. It's almost identical. It's like when they put Kobe next to Devin Booker, and it's insane. Now, I don't think, obviously, DA's not there defensively like Hakeem was. Hakeem was a monster defensively.
Generational talent, yes.
Unreal. But DA's 23 years old. Will he ever get there? If he ever does, Jesus, dude. Who knows how many championships the Suns would win?
Modern day Hakeem,
right?
And here we are comparing him to David Robinson, Tim Duncan, who was a center towards the end of his career.
Alonzo Mourning.
And even Alonzo Mourning was the worst one that we mentioned. We're talking arguably all of these guys are top 5 centers of all time. They're in that conversation. That's what we're talking about with DeAndre Ayton. But I think where a lot of the fans get upset about DeAndre Ayton was the fact that he was a number 1 pick. I mean, look at Kyler Murray and your expectations with that number 1 pick, and then you look at what a number 1 pick is supposed to do for your franchise. You're supposed to go in and, get it close to a playoff spot within a few years. You're supposed to elevate that team. You have flops and flounders and that stuff happens, but that's what you're supposed to do. So I get it, but he's evolved. He's a different player now. And if you could take DeAndre Ayton and you could pair him with, we'll say Hakeem Olajuwon. Would you rather have DeAndre Ayton go learn everything that Hakeem Olajuwon did, or would you rather DA go learn everything that Ben Wallace had to offer. I'm trying to make a point with his defensive prowess of where he's at right now.
Like
Dan,
Hakeem.
who would you pick DeAndre Ayton to train with and to pick up their skills?
Hakeem,
Okay.
not even close.
Randy?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hakeem just because I feel like the game is just shifting more, like less defense, more offense, and I feel like if Da, something I've seen him do a couple times, like if he can get that like fake handoff, taking people off the dribble, like if he can get that right, like I swear to God, like then he would be a max contract. Like if he can bring it up like Bam and do that kind of stuff like Hakeem, like then okay, like you can give him a max.
His
If
awareness.
he does it in the finals, I'm gonna be like Fry, like show up and take my money. You know?
Right? You know what's crazy is we've seen Da do it like a handful of times, and we're like, dude,
Right.
please, more of that.
Please.
And when he does do it, Book hypes him the hell up when he does it.
Yeah.
That's
sure
what's
does.
so fun to watch. We're a little over the hour mark here, so we gotta start winding down. But Dan, please give us your final thoughts on the Suns matchup on Sunday or the playoffs as a whole. Leave us with something, please.
By the way, Hakeem, 2-time defensive player of the year, 93-94. So
Killer.
great,
Probably
defensive player.
the top 3 all-time center. But anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, man. I can't wait. Personally, this week has sucked. We've had to watch the Diamondbacks be the Diamondbacks.
They won today. They won
yeah.
today. They scored 3 runs. Let's go.
When
They beat
nobody was watching because
How many times did they beat the Padres?
Once.
Once.
Yeah. The first game
On opening
That was
day.
opening day. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
magical. It was a magical opening day.
Yeah, it's
on
fantastic.
National Beer Day.
Yeah. Beer homered on National Beer Day. So yeah, man, I can't wait. Sunday can't come soon enough. I think, again, it scares me to say it. I'm going to knock on wood, but I feel like that everything, especially historically, is lining up for the Suns to just run through the playoffs and get to the finals. And then, you know what?
I love it.
We'll see what happens in the finals. I really think it's a rematch with Giannis. And if the 2 games this season against the Bucks shows you anything, I feel like the Suns they're ready to go at them, man. Especially that first game when everybody was full strength. Bring them on, man. That's who I want. I want revenge, right?
Yes.
Not as much as you, Evan, because you're like revenge season. Bring me the toughest teams. I don't
Dude
care
is a sicko. He's a sicko.
I don't care how we get there. I don't care if we beat if the Warriors and the Grizzlies lose before we don't have to play them at all. I don't care about that. I care about when we get to the finals and we face the Bucks. That's who I want.
Yeah, I'm trying to stand on top of some cars on Jefferson. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh yeah, best believe I'm coming.
Hey, and Justin, my my co-host on Fanning the Flames. He's a big asshole for this, but he already wrote a check for me. I have to drink for him with the Aussies because they're coming down for the finals.
Mm.
So I may or may not survive until the parade. So.
None of us feel bad for you, Dan. You're not going to get any sympathy here for having to drink with them. You just have to prove yourself, and that's what you got to do. You play it as a game. Prove it to them that you can hold the liquor and watch all the way to Game 7, and you should document it.
Oh, there will be documentation. I guarantee you.
Dan, thank you again for coming out. Please tell everybody where they can find you and all of your work.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. This was a blast. I always love coming on other podcasts because it's fun. Randy, Jay, it was great meeting you guys. It was good banner. Randy, me and you had a lot of back and forth, man. It was great. I love it. And Evan, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it as well. Myself, you can find me at Dan Duarte 1 on Twitter. Follow the Coast to Coast podcast at Coast to Coast Pod 1. Follow my podcasting partner, Flex from Jersey. Everybody already knows who he is. And Fanning the Flames, NBA, and then also at Derbyshire World for Paul. And so says Jay for Justin. And go check out those pods, man. We're very much hey, guys, just talking ball at the bar. That's our vibe, man. So if you guys like that, come check us out. And yeah, Go Suns.
Go Suns. Absolutely. Randy, tell everybody where they can find you.
On YouTube, Stay Off My Grass Podcast. On Twitter, Off My Grass Pod, and on TikTok. So that's all we got for right now.
And Jay Joyce, where can they find you on Twitter?
On Twitter, at Jay Joyce, just take the AZ out. I talk a lot of shit. You're going to see my hot takes, and I'm usually getting blocked by a lot of NBA Twitter, so I'm doing all right.
Good
So.
And little tidbit, Jay might be coming out with his little own show coming up. Little tease for you there, little tease. So something new could be coming in the works from the He's on Fire podcast. Everybody, thanks for coming by. We appreciate our special guests coming on. We appreciate everybody listening and tuning in. Please hit the like button. Share this out to everyone. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And audio listeners, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. He's on Fire podcast. We are days away. We got one more live show tomorrow with the one and only Matthew Lissy from Suns Jam Session. I will be releasing a video on Friday as well. And unfortunately, I will be out of town down in Zion's enjoying a little bit of a break for myself. But I'll be catching the Suns game. But you wanted more content? Oh, don't worry, Jay Joyce. You are hosting a Twitter Spaces after game one of the playoffs coming up. So we're not going to have a podcast that night. Forgive me. I apologize. But Jay's going to hit up everybody on Twitter, so join that. Hopefully I'll be able to attend as well. In the meantime, Suns fans, stay positive for fuck's sake. Stay positive.
Right.
This is a damn good team.
Yeah.
Don't doubt them. Don't
Yes.
doubt Monty. Don't doubt the clutchness that you've seen. And enjoy the night. He's on Fire podcast. We'll be back soon. Peace.
Thank you, Dan.
All righty.
Thanks, guys.
None of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up and it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's none of them can hang, running with the gang. No need to explain. I pull up and it's they cannot contain me moving through the lane. Every little setback, I step back and then it's
I gave them nuggets and knowledge. They tried to put nicks in my armor, but I've been mellow since college. Made this Vixen a mama.